Okay, let's go and adjust layers in order and in parameters to achieve the final look. And here I'm going to start with the hat pin. I have the issue in the edge. So let's make some gradient in the edge. I will do that with the bevel. So let's add something like 0.05 and make it smoothing a little stronger. And let's check it in the material mode. Yeah, as you can see, everything is okay. The result, it's so much better than before. And that's it for the hat pin. We don't have any special issue, so everything is okay. And let's go back to the hat itself. And for the metal section, I think everything is okay. We don't need to adjust any parameter. But for the leather part, I think the layer related to the control color, yeah, it should be more slighter. Maybe 50 in the opacity, it's good. Okay, so that's it for the leather part. And I'm going to use soft light on the blending mode for the stitches. Yeah, it's so much better to have something like this. Okay, and we can decrease the opacity amount to something like 80. That's it. And for this kind of stitches over here, I can change the stitching type or class to double, because in this way, let's increase the texture size in the viewport to 4K, because we are going to use 4K in the render. Okay, let's wait to compute the data in the background. Okay, so it's done. It's a 4K result. Yeah, the stitch is good, but if we need this texture at 2K level, we should increase the size of the stitch, because at this size, we cannot achieve the result that we want. Okay, so let's increase the size to something like 4. Yeah, as you can see, it's so much better, but maybe 3 is good though. Yeah, I think 3 is good. Let's reposition the stitch. Okay, and let's copy and paste the brush properties for these past two. Okay, that's it. It's better, right? Okay, and yeah, I'm going to turn off HSL. Okay, and let's go here to pass 4. I'm going to paste brush properties. Okay, that's it. Okay, that's fine. And for the pass 5, I'm going to paste brush here. Okay, so it's okay. Let's increase the opacity. Yeah, I think 100 is better when the HSL is turned off. So this is for leather. I think it's okay. And let's go to the fabric. This is the final part. For the fabric, maybe I need to change the blending mode to soft light for the stitches. Yeah, it's so much better. It's so much better. And we need to add two punch in here and in here. Okay, so let's add punch layer here. We can do it after stitching. Okay, we need color, height, roughness, metallic, and opacity. So for the first layer, I'm going to create the overall shape of the punch. And in the second layer, I'm going to add the opacity inside the punch. Okay, so this punch, it's here. Let's add a black mask. I'm going to add blending mode normal to all channels. And now I'm going to add a fill layer to the mask. And in the grayscale, I'm going to use a circle shape alpha, which is a shape border. Yeah. And as you can imagine, we need to turn off the UV wrap. And after that, we just need to set the position this layer. That's it. Okay. We need to find a good position for that. Okay, I think it's okay. And let's add a filter here, which is the mirror filter. It's a good way to duplicate a detail in one side to other side, but it's a little tricky. So as you can see, we can turn on display debug, and you can see the line over here. And in the x-axis, you can control this line. So with this line, you can create a mirror effect. Or you can just use the symmetry option for the paint, but I don't want to use the paint layer. So it's okay. I think it's mirror already. Yeah. And let's add the normal in the layer and AO, because in this way, we don't see the data from the down level, okay, down layers actually. So let's play with the parameters to achieve what we want. Let's disable this display debug, and after that, I'm going to adjust this slider to define what I want. Okay, it's okay. Everything is okay. That's it. Maybe a little smaller size is the good option. That's it. And maybe the hardness should be something like 0.35. Okay. And in the layer, I'm going to increase the height level. Okay, to something like 0.2. That's it. Okay, everything is okay. Maybe the hardness should be much higher. Yeah, something like this. And I'm happy with the result. That's it. So for the inside part, I'm going to create another fill layer. And I'm calling it punch opacity. And let's add a black mask and turn on just only the opacity and bring down the opacity value. So in here, I can use the anchor point and another technique. So I'm going to copy these two here. That's okay. I'm going to increase the border width and the hardness. So this is the result. And in top of the mirror, I'm going to add another fill layer and recall the punch mask here and change the blending mode to subtract. So in this way, we have this little inside mask, and we can decrease the hardness. Okay. And maybe in the fill layer, we can play with the level to avoid outline line. That's it. And everything is okay for the punch section. So let's go back to the punch. And I'm going to decrease the height amount to something like 12. And the roughness should be near to 0 and the metallic should be on 1. So we have the metallic part here, and that's it. So the base color is good, the height is good, the roughness is good, the metallic, the normal, the ambient occlusion, everything is perfect. So we don't need to have any extra step. We have our material here, and that's it. So we can export the textures to Marmoset toolbag and render it over there. And for this purpose, I'm going to use the output template related to Unreal Engine 4 plus height. But you don't have this, okay? You need to create this. But how we can do that? How we can create a template for ourselves or modify a template? For this purpose, you need to go to the output template window, and in this section, you can duplicate any of this template or create a new template from scratch, okay? So in here, I'm going to select Unreal Engine 4 packed and duplicate it. So this is the Unreal Engine 4 packed copy. So you can rename it here, and I'm going to call it UE5, for example, height ORM, ambient occlusion, roughness, and metallic. So in this way, we can define what is the template and what is the workflow template follows. Okay, so we have emissive, normal, metallic, roughness, occlusion in the one single map, and the base color and the opacity in the alpha channel. So we need to create another output. For this purpose, we are going to create a grade output. So that's it. And I'm going to copy this text in here. And instead of emissive, I'm going to type, for example, height or displacement map or anything you like. Or, for example, edge instead of height. Okay? So this is our name. This is the mesh name. This is the texture set name. And this is our channel name. And if you are using a specific color space in your textures, this is the place that color space mentioned. And if you are using UDIMs, this is the part that UDIMs number appear. So for this purpose, we can create our name in this way. And how we can set the height or displacement channel to this export output. So in here, you can see the input maps, which we are create in the fill layers. And you can see the mesh maps. It comes from the bake in the beginning of the project. And you can see the converted map. For example, you don't have any glossiness parameter in the fill layers and in the project, but you need glossiness. So you can convert roughness to glossiness, and you can do it here. So let's go and find height. Okay, that's it. And I'm going to call from height. I'm going to export this output from height in the gray channel, not in the alpha channel. Okay, so that's it. It's okay. This is a UE5 version of template. We are just created that. And let's go back to the setting. And in here, you can see you have UE5 height ORM. So let's export the Unreal Engine 4 plus height, or let's choose this one. There's no difference between them. And let's set a path for the exporting. Okay, now we set the path. We are using the template that we created before. The file type should be on PNG, and I'm going to export it in 16 bits, and the size is 4K, and the padding should be on the default setting. So let's export. Okay, now we are in the final step, the final section, which is rendering, and I'm going to load the FX file inside the Marmoset. And the first step that I do is turn off the callback faces for each model. It's like the double-sided in Substance Painter, as we discussed before. And for the material, let's load the textures. Okay, I'm going to load the base color here in the albedo map, the height map in the displacement map. Okay, and the normal should be load on the normal map, but we need to check on the flip Y, because at the default of the Unreal Engine 4 template in Substance Painter is DirectX, our project based on DirectX, and the marmoset read normals in OpenGL in default. So we need to check the flip by to show the normal in the viewport in the correct way. So let's go here and turn on occlusion and transparency to cut out, to remove the opacity. So as you can see, we can see the inside of the punch, and the shape here, it's correct. So let's add the other textures here. Okay, so we don't need this window anymore. I'm going to copy texture to each slide. Okay, paste it. And for the roughness, the channel G, it's a channel that contains the roughness. And for the metallic, it's a channel B. And for the ambient occlusion, it's channel R. So the red for ambient occlusion, the blue for metallic, and the green for roughness in the simple words. So this is our result. We can check the, for example, roughness value in here. It's okay or not. We can see the albedo and the base color. Okay, that's okay or not. And we can see, for example, the reflectivity or metallic. So everything is okay, but we need sometimes go back to the painter and change some parameters, and after that we can export it again. So I think remove some reflection from the surface in overall, because as we can see, the roughness value is not correct for this material. And before that, let's do some mandatory stuff in marmoset. So for example, I'm going to turn on subdivision on the hat model and increase the subdivision level to something like 3. Okay, that's good. And for hat pin or logo arm, I'm going to add subdivision to something like 5, for example. Let's check everything is okay or not. Okay. Maybe we can increase the displacement amount here. Okay, now it's not good. The 0.05 is good amount. That's it. And for this one, we need to increase the height amount in the layer that we create hat pin. So let's go create a camera, and we can reposition the logo arm. We can use the front. Okay, Control F to find the object. Yeah. And let's set setting, for example, the size, or maybe just a little. Yeah, no, this one is okay. We just need to increase the height amount here. So that's it. In the camera number 1, we are going to setting. I just click on this icon to open the camera 1 option. And in here, I'm going to increase the vignette, the softness, and the sharpen should be on 1, and the clarity should be on 1 again. The highlight, I'm going to set it to negative 0.2. For the midtone and the shadow, positive 0.2, positive 0.2. That's it. Tone mapping should be on aces. And for the curves, I just set the curves to high contrast. Okay. So let's go back to the field of view and change the lens to 80. That's it. And for the frame, let's set a frame in the output section in render setting in 2000 and 2000. Okay, and the sample should be on 600. And the format of the render, it can be JPEG or PNG. It's not a mandatory option that we should follow. It depends on your needs. And the denoise strength should be on 1. And in the render camera, we should add camera 1 and remove main camera. Everything is done here, and we need to turn on ray tracing and advanced light sampling. So in the camera, I'm going to turn on the same frame and reposition the camera according to the frame and the lens number. So that's it. I'm going to change the HDR to alley gravity. Okay, and increase the brightness to something like 3. But I don't want to have a backdrop from a sky, so I'm going to change it to solid color. The color should be on dark gray. Okay, as you can see, the value of the roughness on the hat and the leather is too much reflective. And we need to figure out how to solve this problem and give some extra height to the logo part. So let's go back to the Substance Painter. And in here, I'm going to the roughness channel. And as you can see, it's so much close to the dark. And when the roughness channel is too dark, it means you have too reflectivity. And whenever you want to decrease the reflectivity, you need to increase the whiteness in the roughness channel. So I'm going to use a hack here. I'm going to add a paint layer and call it roughness control. Okay, and I'm going to change the pass in the blending mode and apply to the all channels. That's it. And let's add a filter, for example, HSL. And in HSL, I'm going to turn off the color and turn on the roughness. And in this way, I can increase the lightness and have more rough surface, not reflective surface. So this is the good way to control this. You can increase the contrast and luminosity. Also, contrast, I just need to have roughness effect. So we can create the contrast and change the luminosity. Okay, like this. And let's see what happened in the viewport without this and with this. Okay, so let's decrease the lightness here. Yeah. So let's, before export the textures, we need to add some extra height to this one. Let's check the displacement amount. Okay, so I'm going to increase the height amount. For example, I choose 1. That's it. So let's export from Substance Painter and replace the textures in Marmoset. It happened automatically when we set up the material. And let's wait. What's happened here? Yeah, I think it's okay. It's so much better. It's so much better. Okay. Now, as you can see, yeah, I think this amount is good. And let's increase the subdivision for the hat from 3 to 4. Okay. And we can use another technique. For example, I'm going to duplicate this material and give the material with this amount of the height. For example, this one, or maybe a little higher. For example, 0.2. Yeah. And decrease the amount of the height from material for the hat. So in this way, I can keep the same value in base color, roughness, normal, ambient occlusion, and metallic for these two material separately, and change the displacement amounts into material separately too. So this is the way that we can control the result. And now it's time to create some lighting. If you have never tried to lighting in Marmoset, at the first step, maybe it's like a tricky one. But at the end, you can find out the Marmoset it's so easy and you can create the best lighting system with no pain, okay? So for the lighting scenario, I'm going to create a light from here to here and another light from here to here. And we are creating the key light and the rim light here. And for the rim light, I'm going to create this kind of light around the shape. And if we can use the sky to fill up this section, we just use that. But without the sky, we need to give some brightness here too. So the plan is so clear. We are going to create a studio lighting. Okay. Now I'm going to show you my method to create a studio lighting in Marmoset Toolbag. So I just click in here and detach this light from the sky and turn off the light from the sky. So I'm going to increase the light amount to 7. That's it. And increase the diameter from shape to have some soft shadow and create the pure white light. So this is my light that comes from here. So I need to reset the transform. Okay. That's it. And now I can select the light and go to the rotation, but I couldn't see the gizmo because it's down there. So I need to bring it up. That's it. And now I can use the rotation to rotate my light. Okay, now I decide to change the shape to rectangle and use a big dimension for that and a little rotation in x-axis, something like this. Yeah. And let's copy this slide and move it to other side. Okay, in here, like this one. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to create a duplicate and I'm going to call it backlight. And for fixing the backlight position, I'm going to turn off these two lights and just move the backlight to the back, as you can see. And now I can set the position very easy. Let's change the position of the camera. Okay, this is my backlight, so it's okay. This is my key light from the right, and this is my key light from left. So let's adjust the position for these lights. Okay. Okay, that's it. And let's turn on the skylight, adjust the position with holding shift and right click of the mouse and moving the mouse. Okay, that's it. So, okay, maybe I need another light. Okay. It's my rim light for the right. And this is my key light from right, but the brightness should be on something like 6.6. Okay. This is a lighting system that I create for this one in Marmoset. So now we can adjust our material to achieve what we want. And let's decrease the backlight from 7 to 6.8 or 6.6 to avoid light burn here. That's it. And let's go back to the Substance Painter. And I need to adjust the roughness again. Okay. So let's finish the computing background, and we can increase the luminosity. That's it. And we can increase the lightness. So let's export it again and see what happened in the marmoset. Okay, now this is the result, and I'm happy with that, but I think we can decrease the roughness slider here and a little increase the reflectivity on the material, and it's okay. Yeah, it's okay, and I'm happy with the result. So this is the final shot for the military hat project, and I hope you find some new technique and new way to texture your project during this tutorial. So let's go to the next project.